Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know what it is.
What's good?
Hey, you already know what it do. One time for the fan. We are back. That's what Bodie usually goes. But Bodie's a little bit tied up today. Finishing a couple roofs out there in McDonough.
Bushes.
You saw him in the bushes?
In the bushes. Yeah, he ran out the window.
God, you see him out there in back?
Yeah, pulling the wrong flowers. Gotta do better, Bodie.
Yeah, Bodie. Gotta trim those hedges. So he had his equipment with him.
Yeah,
Last time he came over here to do some work, he ain't bring no equipment. He tried to leave the invoice on the front door. I said that ain't gonna work, big dog. So you gotta come back out here and finish this. Shout out to Bodie 3000. No Bodie tonight. We got the homie though. Chase 5,000, Chase 10,000. What you want to do, cuz? What you want to do?
No,
what's the number behind it? Chase what?
Call me 1,000.
Chase 1,000?
Yeah, because I keep it 1,000.
Chase 1,000 is in the building. Shout out to our special guest we got coming up in here shortly. Pop-up show tonight. I know Falcon fans are like, wait a minute. Y'all Sundays and Wednesdays, not Fridays. But we lit. A lot going on when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. And we love talking about the Atlanta Falcons. And when it comes to putting on a quick little podcast, quick little pop-up show, we always want to bring as much content as we can to you all. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody representing from all the Facebook groups that we are in too as well. Falcons Rise Up Family, Falcons Nation, One Time for the Atlanta Falcons, Rise Up Tour. Like there's so many groups. So shout out to everybody for checking in from those groups. Bring your questions tonight. Of course, on the pop-up show like this, like we're just going, straight up off the top of what we see with the Atlanta Falcons today and what happened this week. But bring your questions to the chat. We can talk about the draft tonight. We can talk about anything. One Time for the Fan is for the fans, and you all are fans, and we're fans. So I think it works, right, Chase?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to everybody here in the chat. But Chase, before we get to the chat and everything going on with the Falcons, because there was some news that happened today, is one of the reasons why we're doing this pop-up show. We do have a special guest joining us shortly. But and also shout out to the Hawks too as well. They're winning.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out Hawks.
Pop-up show when they're winning. I get that we need to do more pop-up shows when the Hawks play. Sheesh. But yeah, shout out to the Hawks. But Chase, how you been doing, bro?
Been doing good, man. Missed the show Wednesday. Had a little cold going on and what's been going on, but definitely feeling better. Glad I was able to make the pop-up show tonight, talk a little Falcon football, get some news spread to the Falcon fans, just spread all kinds of Falcon love.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. It's always good talking Falcons football with everybody. And you see, if I'm looking back this way, I'm looking at the Hawks game. So that's okay. I ain't gonna talk too much about it. It's about Falcons football. But yeah, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us on Spotify, if you're listening on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Podcasts, wherever you find One Time for the Fan, YouTube, Twitter. I see a lot of people sharing it in different groups too as well once the show is already aired. So yeah, the podcast is lit. We're coming up on our 100th show. Shout out to Out of Your Falcon Mind, who was over there the other day, me and Bodie, after we finished our Wednesday show talking Falcons football with them. Some more positive content creators out here talking Falcons football. They just reached their 100th show. And they are just diehard Atlanta Falcons fans just like us. So shout out to them. We have our 100th show coming up on Monday, May the 1st, right? So our 100th show is coming up on Monday, May the 1st. So we have a big special guest. Chase, should I post it or should I just tell it? Should I post it or should I just say it right now? Like, what is you?
We gotta keep them guessing, man. We gotta keep them guessing, keep them looking at the page,
we have a big special guest for y'all, and this is right after the draft too, as well. So be prepared for that. Once again, we have a big special guest joining the show Monday, May 1st. So bring your questions, bring your comments, bring everything to the chat that day. I'm sure y'all gonna have a lot of questions about the direction of the Falcons and where they're going. And the draft too, because this is following up from draft weekend.
He knows all about it.
He definitely knows all about the Atlanta Falcons. I will guarantee you this. Yes, our special guest for Monday, May 1st, definitely knows what he is talking about when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. I guarantee you this. So be prepared for that. Get your questions ready too, because I'm sure whatever draft pick is made, you want to know why the Falcons went in that direction. The team and everything going on around the Atlanta Falcons. But let's get straight to it. Chat is lit. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get straight to it, y'all. Pop-up show tonight. Ice Cold Wolf is up in here. First time for Ice Cold Wolf. Chat beating Deshaun.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Deshaun's usually first one every episode.
But this is big for Ice Cold Wolf, and this is big for the chat tonight because the pop-up shows is always about, the Falcons, but of course about the chat too as well. Because a lot of times we don't get a chance to read all the comments on the screen or answer all the questions because we have so much going on with the podcast itself, and the podcast is doing very well right now too. So thank you for all the support, diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. But Ice Cold Wolf was with us last year on our draft show when we did the 3-hour show on Thursday, when we did the 4-hour show following, and then the other 3.5-hour show again. Ice Cold Wolf was here with us. So shout out to Ice Cold Wolf for still being here, representing in the chat. Don't forget hashtag one-timers, hashtag the fan club if you're here representing. Carrie, who will be here with us on draft night talking Falcons football. She is one of our special guests that we announced already. It's going to be super lit on draft night. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of Falcon podcasts and people's, everybody's got their own content of what's going on. So just be prepared for what we have going on for draft night. But we have some diehard Atlanta Falcon fans stopping through to talk Falcons football with us. Carrie will be one of them. She also says, "What's up, Falcons family?"
Good.
Heading over here to False Start Falcon. False Start Falcon said, "What's good, y'all?"
Good, folks.
So it's good talking with the Falcon fans. Please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button if you're checking in from Facebook, YouTube, even if you're listening on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, whatever button you're supposed to press to keep the numbers going, keep doing it. We trying to represent for y'all. Kenny is in the building. He said, "What's up, fellas? One time for the fans. It's your boy from Boston." Kenny, I got to ask you, since you're checking in from Boston, are you going to the Jets game, Falcons Jets this year? If so, let us know, man, because we're heading up that way. Rise Up Tour. Of course, we have some events and stuff going on, so we'd like for you to be a part of that. Or if you're going to the where else are we playing along that side? Anything else? Jets and well, any other away game. I know some people like Alberto. He's up there in Maine or Rhode Island, so I know he's planning on going to the New York game. But any fans in that region that's planning on going to the Jets game, let us know. We definitely want to link up with y'all. Dan Burst will also be with us here on the draft night, talking Falcons football too as well. He's another one of our special guests for a Falcon fan talk for draft night. One of the admins of Atlanta Falcons Rise Up family. He said, "Pop-up show, fire. Love how y'all been doing a lot more of these lately." Well, we trying to bring the content to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Trying to bring the content to you. DJ Dan's in the building. And we got some stories for Dan, man, especially the one about New Orleans when
yes, sir.
Everybody was heading to
first time I ever meeting. That was first time I ever meeting.
Dan is just super lit. So this young man right here, Dan Burst, y'all check him out on Facebook, YouTube, wherever he has his business going on. Dan, drop your links about your DJ channel and anything, because Dan is super lit, man. We was in New Orleans and Razzoos, and it's a quick story about Dan. We left the club at 4 a.m. This is the Falcons Saints game, right? We left the club at 4 a.m., right? Chase, am I right?
Yeah.
Around 4 a.m., right? So we walking out the club, and it's all of us, and we still together, and I walk past the stage, and I'm like, what the hell is Dan? Right? Man, my boy Dan on the stage.
On the other side.
With the mic in his hand. Partying with these folks down there in New Orleans. I'm talking about he ran the club to a point where I believe they asked him to come back and host. He out of team from out of town.
Yep. He hosted the next night after the game.
Shout out to DJ Dance, man. I'm talking about it's lit when the Falcon fans are up here. Drake, true statements up in the chat. He said, "What's going on, fellas? Rise up. Hashtag one-timers. Hashtag fan club." Lowski said, "Can't just pop up on Friday night." Well, we trying to... we trying to bring that vibe to y'all, man. We trying to get y'all ready for the season. There's a lot of diehard fans who's listening to this and who's watching this right now. Like, we needed this. Diehard Atlanta Falcon fans who we all have respect for. I have respect for you all. You guys, I'm sure, have respect for us. And we just try to just show that Falcon love, man. It's that fan love. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Justin Newman in the chat. He said, "What's good, fellas?"
Good, Justin.
Drake, your statement said definitely going to be there for the 100th show.
Appreciate it.
Deloach is in the building. He said, "It's Friday."
Yes, sir.
It's our day off, too. Anybody getting fired but Bodie. Let's see him finish that yard. Hey, Bodie, the sun going down. Bodie 3000. Red Swarms in the building. What's good, big homie?
What's good, Red?
Kenny said, "Yes, sir. I'll be at the Jets game repping Falcons." You already know what it is. You already know. Love to meet up with you all. We'll definitely have a meet and greet. The Rise Up Tour is big for the meet and greets and the events at the away game. So if you're on Facebook, Kenny, go to the Rise Up Tour, right? It's called the Rise Up Tour away game, Falcons group only. And you will see some information about what's going on this season. Plus, we're going to drop a newsletter in a couple weeks. And we have our Rise Up Tour podcast May the 11th when the schedule drops. So please be prepared for that too as well. We're about to get into some Falcons news here. False Star Falcons said, "I want to join the tour this season, hit a few away games." Look, it's big.
All you got to do is check them out.
Look, this ain't the Rise Up Tour podcast. I know I'm one of the admins. I'm also one of the co-founders of the Rise Up Tour, and there's a lot of Rise Up Tour members in here. But we can actually go 2, 3, 4, 5 hours talking about the Rise Up Tour if you want to. But May the 11th, we have a Rise Up Tour podcast that's coming back. And it'll be linked to this channel too as well. So I'll be going live so you all can hear what is happening this season with the Rise Up Tour. If you don't know about the party in Miami a couple years ago when we took the yacht around the port of Miami and we had about 40 Falcon fans, we had Pastor Troy on the boat, free food, free drinks. It was all part of your cost. I think the cost for the boat ride was like $150 per person. But you're from out of town, we had something to do. Pastor Troy performed on the boat. We had other yachts looking at us like, who the hell is that? We had the big Atlanta flag flying on top. Like, who the hell is that? Well, we from out of town. What are you talking about? Arizona, when we took over Fat Tuesdays a couple years ago, we're not going back to Fat Tuesdays this year. We got another venue, and we'd love to bring the owner on of the venue to come talk to us. Hopefully, he can be there May the 11th.
Definitely to go to Bourbon Street.
New Orleans, Chase. Chase, you was there for your first Rise Up Tour experience. You saw it in New Orleans. We took over Bourbon Street when it comes to the events that we put on. We had a good dinner too as well. Remember, we went to dinner that night.
Flags hanging from the balconies.
Friday night, Falcon flags hanging from balconies, and what we did down there and the Rise Up Tour inside Razoo's, and everybody has their bags on and they're drinking and partying, and the DJ playing Atlanta music, and Troy performed. Like, we lit out here.
Yeah, no doubt.
We lit when it comes to what the Rise Up Tour can do. So just be prepared, False Start Falcon and Kenny, because we're going to New York, we're going to Carolina, we got our annual bus trip, we're going to Jacksonville, we're going to Tennessee, we're going to Chicago, we're going to help me out, Chase.
You said Tennessee,
Chicago. Oh, Stanky Town. We're going to. Who else we playing in the NFC North? Not Green Bay. Oh, Detroit. We're going to Detroit. And Arizona, and then whatever playoff game too as well. So just be prepared for that. And we got ambassadors in pretty much every city. Go ahead, Chase.
I said, hopefully we got that home field advantage when it comes to the playoffs.
Man, it's looking crazy. It's looking crazy. It's almost dark, Bodie. I'm trying to tell you. Deshaun's in here 22 minutes late. He said, "Here I go, man. It's the man right here. Here I go. Here I go." You had to come in there with that because you're 22 minutes behind schedule. Now you're playing. Sean Coswell's in the chat. Our special guest is out here doing donuts in the front yard.
Shit.
About to call downstairs to security and find out what's going on. Matter of fact, security's not even there today. Country off today. Terrell Johnson said, "What's up, fellas?"
It's good, Terrell.
Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We're about to talk some Falcons football here in just a second. Drake, your statement said, "My goal is to make 4 of the away games at least." What 4 games you looking at, Drake? Because right now, I'm telling you, I'm a diehard fan. There's a lot of Falcon fans who travel with us. There's a lot of Falcon fans who've been to multiple cities, and they can tell you, in my experience and their experience, New Orleans and New York and Arizona is probably the first 3 you want to book on May the 11th. Just telling you right now. Once it's confirmed, and I mean confirmed, once it's truly confirmed, that's the first thing you want to book is New York, New Orleans, and Arizona. Arizona for the 1B in the flights, and it's expensive on the Airbnbs and hotels because Arizona's a party town. For those that don't know, it's a bunch of colleges and a bunch of colleges that just party like a month. You know what I'm saying? And then New York, because New York is New York. So you definitely want to book early for that. And New Orleans, because it's the rivalry game. Everybody knows when the Falcons are in town, shit's about to go down. And I think this year they're going to jack up their prices because they know the team's not going to be doing that well. And Chase, you saw, I told you when you booked last year for New Orleans, that price that you paid compared to what I paid, compared to what I paid in the past, was totally different. Yeah. They're slowly doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to have my points. But shout out to all the diehard Atlanta Falcons fans here in the chat. Let's see what's going on here. See if I can get him back in here. He said something's going on here with the stream. We'll get him in here in just a second. What it do? Vincent Cokley's in the chat.
Saw Vincent was live the other night on Facebook. Trying out a little streaming. See.
We have a special guest. I don't want to just bring him in here from. Let's see. Let me see if I can get him in here. Just 1 second, Falcons fans. But before that, Chase, let's talk about, pretty much what you missed on Wednesday night. We went over the mock draft.
Yeah.
I think you saw it in the chat. You gave us a C grade and a B grade. Any names that you saw on the draft board that stood out, that you were familiar with and you thought that would be a pretty good pick for Atlanta?
Something that's big to me, not only just through y'all's mocks, but what I've done myself just playing around the house, is it seems almost as if Jalen Carter's on everybody's board at 8. If he's there at 8, man, I'm with Bodie. You can't pass up on it. That's a player that's a dynamic talent. Like Bodie said, there's only a couple, and Jalen Carter is definitely on the top of that list, right there with Will Anderson. So to see Jalen Carter at 8, to fall past the Lions, the Seahawks, the Raiders, that's somebody you got to grab, man. Another name that stands out to me that I've been seeing on a lot of mocks that fall at 8 is Tyree Wilson. That's another guy that I'm very big on. With today's news going on, I kind of brought some little things about a cornerback in Oregon back up. Started looking up him again. But I don't know if we go cornerback in the first round, but at the position that we're in now, I believe we can go any position, and it's going to help this team out tremendously. So it's a plug-and piece offense. I'm just ready to see what we do. It could be defense. I know we're really heavy on defense and free agency, but I'm all down for building a defense.
Falcon fans, shout out to Archangel in the chat. Shout out to Lowski. Shout out to Drake True Statement. As you saw what we did the other night with the mock draft, I know it's computer generated, but Jalen Carter being there again at 8 and showing that, what other teams could do. It's the same thing that we talked about. It's different draft scenarios that could happen here on draft night. Carter could fall to you at 8 where you don't trade up.
Yeah.
It's possible. Or if Carter doesn't fall to you at 8, what is your next best option? Let me help you out here, Falcon fans. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Let me just help you guys out. And I want you guys to feel how I feel as a Falcon fan. Chase, you might agree or disagree. You can't go wrong with any one of these picks the Falcons pick. And I said this on Out of Your Falcons Mind the other night. And shout out to Pound for Pound ATO that we hope to get on this podcast soon. Shout out to Trey Sean too as well from New Millennial Falcons podcast. We hope to get Trey Sean on here too. But any player the Falcons pick on draft night, and this goes for every fan in the chat and every fan that's going to be listening and watching around wherever, you cannot be upset.
No, not at all.
Right? You cannot be upset. This offseason, from the players that we brought in from last year's draft to this year, to the moves that we've made already, the cap space, everything. This offseason has been so exciting, so thrilling as a Falcon fan, that when we get to the draft night, I don't give a damn. I'm telling you, it could be my name getting called, which I still haven't got the call yet to come to Kansas City. I'm expecting the call. It could be anybody's name who is called on draft night. You should be excited. For Peter Skronsky's, if his name. For Bijan Robinson, if his name. For Miles Murphy, if it could be his name. For Christian Gonzalez, it could be his name. You guys need to be super excited and understand what could happen here in Atlanta. The team is being built. the way we want it to be built. And then the draft is just the icing on the cake before the season starts. And don't forget, there's going to be some undrafted free agent players trying to make the roster. Might find another D. Alford here, who we hope to get on the podcast soon. Might find another Timothy Horn out here. But the team was looking so rough last season that you had to play a Timothy Horn. You had to play an Abdullah Anderson. You had to play a Matt Dickerson. This year's a little bit different. Totally different. Chase, do you agree or disagree that Falcon fans too in the chat? We'll get to your comments. Do you agree or disagree that you can't be disappointed at what pick is made on draft night? I mean, everybody's talking about don't go running back and don't go wide receiver and don't go edge and don't go corner, but you can't be upset at what player is picked on draft night, right?
I think we can all agree as a fan base now, as we stand right now as a team, we're better than what we were last year before the draft even got here. Just all around, what Terry's done and what Arthur's done together as a group, it's a hell of a difference from last year. With the talent level they brought in last year, with the amount of money we had, most dead cap space in NFL history, 86-something million. So to even compete at the level we did last year, to just see us have an all season with this type of money, to bring in talent, to go compete with one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, you can't go wrong with any spot that you draft. Anybody they bring in this building, I'm going to support, probably going to buy the jersey, and we'll be repping them game one.
Shout out to Terrell Johnson in the chat. LaMarcus Boyd, who will be with us May the 11th on the One Time for the Fan Rise Up Tour podcast. We'll be talking about the away games. LaMarcus Boyd is one of the ambassadors for Arizona. So LaMarcus Boyd and Stevie Carrega will be giving us some information on what to expect going on in Arizona. Of course, you know, Falcon fans, there's so much going on once we hit the grounds of all these cities. Terrell Johnson also says, totally agree. Very interesting off season.
Yeah.
Red Swarm said, yo, Spade, can you still drop him 80 dimes? 80-yard dimes on the run? That's what I'm saying, man. Just be expecting my name on draft night. They're going to say, and with the 8th pick, matter of fact, not even 8th. That's kind of bad for me. You got to trade up. With the 4th pick, you got to trade up to at least Indy. With the 4th pick in the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select. What position do I want to play? You wearing big nickel?
Kicker?
Nah, cool's good. Big nickel. I'm going to take Hawkins' spot. Safety, Jack Spade.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh, you know I can tackle, bro. Oh, bro, let me tell you something, bro. Hey.
You got to make up for that 6'4", 40 you ran.
Bro, like a freight train hitting a pillow. Dan Burns in the case, exactly. Anybody in round one is just extra help.
Yeah.
The best way I can put it is minus the O-line. Terry literally built a whole another team around the free agency. The thing about it is, about going through the free agency with Terry is he made some moves that was smart. And shout out to that hype video they put out the other day, On the Rise.
Yeah, that was lit.
Getting me chills. I done already seen most of the clips because they put some clips together and they added some new stuff. But I'm like, bruh, season starts Sunday, doesn't it? Like, no. Yeah. Still got about 5 more months. Shout out to all the players, too, who showed up to OTAs, too, as well, for the first edition of the program workouts. They have 3 different sets. Shout out to all the players who showed up in the building. It's good to see Drake out there. Bearded Drake the Dragon. Y'all see Drake London with the beard looking like Cuz from Power?
Looks so much different from his rookie year.
There we go. Hold on. What's going on, security? Okay, he's down there. All right, bet. They held him up at the gates. You just don't come on here and do no damn donuts in the front yard like that. Bodie just damn took care of the grass, and now he's out there. It looked like country just dropped him off. Special guest joining the building, man. You know, if we're talking Falcons football, it's always good to have another Falcons fan join us, and it's even better when you have a diehard. 95 North Falcons is in the building.
What's happening, fam?
Good, Alberto.
What's going on, brother? Alberto is in the building here talking Falcons football with us. For those that do not know, 95 North Falcons talk show. One of the, like John from Out of Your Falcons Mind said, one of the new up and coming podcasts, like One Time for the Fan, like Out of Your Falcon Mind. Just more great content here for the Falcon fans.
Yes,
Whatever they're doing in the off season, they get a chance to listen to Smitty and Country, 95 North, and who else we got? Aaron
Uncle
Freeman and Damski. So many people out here you can go over. I saw the other night, Out of Your Falcon Mind might have set the record. They went crazy on that.
Man, they went bananas, man. It was a great time, man. Great time. 3 hours, man. Them boys had it lit up in there, man. Anybody went through, man. That's awesome, man. Shout out to them on their 100th episode, man. That was awesome to see, man. And awesome to be a part of also, man.
They was definitely lit. We had a good time in there. We was able to join at the end of the podcast because we had our podcast at 8. We finished around 9:05. We had the mock drafts. Then we joined over there too as well. But for those that do not know in the chat, for those that's watching and listening everywhere, 95 North Falcons talk show, Berto in the building. Give us a little bit about who you are, sir, and your platform that you have over there. What you guys do? What you guys got?
Man, so it's your boy Big Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons talk show. Started doing this maybe around July, man, and it's been fun ever since, man, being able to just chop it up with so many content creators, man. It's been amazing. Shout out to Smitty, man. He's the one that paved the way, man, for me. And, I just been following his steps, man. So he's the one that got me into this, man. But, yeah, man, it's been amazing. Again, so many people I've met, so many friendships I'm building. It's an amazing thing, man. I'm from the New England area. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, man. Kenny Sambaria, I know you in the chat, so he knows what's going on.
He's up there in Boston. I guess he's going to be pulling up in New York this year, too, as well.
Yeah, man. We can carpool together, man, because I'll be in MetLife Stadium whenever it is. I don't care if it's brick cold out there. I am there. I'm going. But, yes, man, diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. Been a Falcons fan since 1999, man, and just the passion grows year in and year out, man. That's my team till the casket drops, as they say, man.
Let's get it. Yeah. Falcons fans, for those in the chat, bring your questions tonight. If you have questions about the draft or the roster or whatever direction you think the Falcons are going, bring the questions here to the chat. We'll answer them tonight because I know Falcons fans love to talk Falcons football. Chase, it's time to get to the Falcons news. We just went over the little small mock we did the other night. You wasn't able to join us, Chase, but now you're back tonight. You love talking Falcons football. So what was the news that happened today with the Atlanta Falcons? Because I posted this a couple days ago when Akuda came in, and I'm going to talk about this after you mention the news, but why it's very important for fans to watch what the Falcons post on social media. Chase, go ahead. What happened today with the Falcons?
Man, somebody that I was kind of big on, Casey Hayward, was released. They announced that he wouldn't be joining the Falcons. This is a player that was coming up on his 12th year, 33 years in age. He was due $5 million. None of it was guaranteed, so it's not anything that really hurt the wallet. If anything, you added some more to the bank. So Casey was a veteran that came in and did what he was supposed to do. He played this every 6 games. He started every game. Tough blow for Casey to come in and have that pectoral tear. It's a tough injury to bounce back from. And, just Terry trying to build a team that's going to go out and compete. So I backed Terry on his move. We brought in some nice pieces, Jeff Akuda, Jesse Bates, Mike Hughes, just some names there. So it ain't like the spot's going empty. We can always fill depth, maybe draft, maybe somebody we trade for. But, yeah, tough to see Hayward go on an injury, but shout out to Hayward for everything he did for the A. Most respect.
Cool.
So the news of him failing the physical, too, as well, also popped out. And I think Falcon fans, Country mentioned this in the chat weeks ago. That injury is serious.
Yeah.
And for a guy, you say he's entering his 12th year?
12th season.
Not his second.
No,
and he's a very man, Berto, you might agree or disagree. He's a very damn good cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah,
had a really good career. I would have loved to have Casey earlier, maybe like 5-6 years ago earlier with AJ Terrell. Maybe not like if you would have did like a time machine type of thing.
Yeah,
and would have got like the Casey like 6 years ago with this team now. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, when he played for the Chargers, man, balling. Made the Pro Bowl numerous times for them, man. And he spent a little bit of time over here in the NFC when he played for the Packers. And then the Packers, I don't know if they either released him or they traded him to LA, and then his career just took off, man.
Falcon fans,
Drew, Carey, going on?
What are we talking about tonight? Falcons football. But one of the main things we're talking about is the Casey Hayward situation. Right. I posted this on the social media recently on One Time for the Fan. The Falcons posted a picture of Okudah and Terrell. Alberto, I'm sure you've seen the picture. Chase, I'm sure you've seen the picture. Chat, I'm sure you've seen the picture. I then posted it on One Time for the Fans page and said, I'm monitoring the Casey Hayward situation closely.
Yeah.
Why did I post that? Because when the Falcons posted that picture, that gave me a 1-2 vibe at corner.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Casey was your 2 last year.
Mm-hmm.
The 1-2 vibe hit me. Whew. Oh, you posted Okudah and Terrell.
Yep. Yeah.
Chase, you want to go back to the chat? Do you want me to pull it up in the One Time for the Fan chat?
Man,
when I asked the question behind it and I posted that, I said, what are you sending us? What message are you sending us? Because the Falcons love to post certain messages you got to look at. Remember last year when they drafted Ritter?
Mm-hmm.
And they had all the they do the highlights with grabbing the football and putting on the helmet. It was a lot of attention with Ritter in London on that hype video.
Yeah.
You get to the end of the season now, you see the kids starting, and it's like, how is that possible? You guys seen it last year. They drafted him to play.
Yeah.
You just didn't believe it. Some fans didn't believe it. Putting Ritter in the room with Drake during camp. Certain things you got to look at what they was doing too as well to get this kid ready to go and play some Falcons football. The picture that they posted with the Falcons and Bucks on the last game of the season, they could have used any other fan art that they normally do on game day. Any other fan art, a team game, it's the last game of the season. You post a picture of Ritter, London, and Algier playing football in the park.
Future. That's what that screams. That's the future.
Future. Wait. No, rookie quarterback, right?
Sure.
Rookie wide receiver, right?
Facts.
Rookie running back, right?
That's the trio.
You could have posted any other picture on the game day versus the Bucks. It's January 8th. You're not in the playoffs. You posted a picture of Ritter throwing the ball to London and Algier. You're showing the Falcon fans the future of this team.
That's their stamp of approval right there, man.
It's a stamp of approval, but it's shown through different ways. They might not tweet about it when it comes through words, but you saw the picture like, why would they post that? Go to the Jeff Okudah and Terrell picture. As soon as they posted it, I said, I got to monitor that Casey Hayward situation. You're showing me 1 and 2 right here. So where does Casey fit in? You just signed Mike Hughes, and now we're going to get to it. Christian Gonzalez goes right back on my big board.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we're doing this podcast, this pop-up show tonight. Christian Gonzalez really pops up back on my big board because Mike Hughes is on the same kind of void year contract with Carter, if I'm correct.
Yes,
right? It's a
2-year, he's on a 2-year deal. Yep.
And Okudah's not a very long contract.
D'Alford, you still have about 9 or 10 cornerbacks in the room that's going to fight and compete for the 5th, 6th spot, however they go. But who is your future cornerback outside of AJ Terrell? Okudah, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Yep.
But who's going to be your guy that's, you know what I'm saying? That can really take it to the next level with the secondary and these defensive backs. And
facts, man.
Once again, Alberto, here's where you jump in. BPA, when you're looking at this team, you can't be wrong with any player selected in the first round coming up next week in draft night. Skronsky is best player available when it comes to the O-line. Bijan Robinson is best player available when it comes to the running backs. Jackson Smith is probably best player available when it comes to your wide receiver. Jalen Carter is probably best player available when it comes to your line. And then it starts to fall back different spots. Christian Gonzalez is best player available at cornerback. Am I right, Alberto?
100%.
Because the Christian Gonzalez, the Casey Hayward news today, is it possible that Christian Gonzalez can end up a Falcon on draft night, Alberto?
Absolutely, 100%, man. And all those guys that you mentioned would make a strong case for the Falcons, taking them at 8. You talked about Skronsky. There's been a problem at left guard since Andy Levitre and the Super Bowl years. You talk about Bijan Robinson, a very much fan favorite for our Falcons, but you gotta wonder about CP's availability, and within the season. He's run down, towards the end of the season, the last 2 years. He's not as effective going down the stretch. He could be, replaceable. Caleb Huntley, Achilles tear. We don't know how he's gonna come back. So really,
you don't use Avery much, so you can't even count Avery. He's just listed as a running back. He's
exactly, you really can't, And then really, truth be told, you really have running back number 1. It's Algier. Talk about wide receiver. We signed Mac Hollins, for wide receiver number 2, but he's not here past next year. So we're gonna need
somebody. Scotty Miller too. Same for Scotty Miller.
Same thing. Cornerback. This is where it gets intriguing for me because, yes, a lot rides on if Jeff Okudah can stay healthy and ball out. He had a pretty good season last year. I think 73 tackles, an interception, a pick six for a touchdown, and 7 pass breakups. If he can mimic that season again, the Falcons should definitely, entertain re-signing him at some point or picking up the option. But now here's the thing. Are you going to pick up AJ and Okudah? Now you're tying up major dividends to two spots. That might not be the best course of route. So picking up definitely AJ's and seeing what Okudah's market will be like, that's probably the smarter way to go. Enter Christian Gonzalez. Perfect scenario right there. Shutdown corner, plays very much like AJ Terrell, very fluid, strong physical at the point of attack. He's not afraid to put his nose in where his business doesn't belong. That's what I love about him. He could shut down one side of the field just like AJ. So at 8, man, if he's available, the Falcons should no doubt go ahead and seek his services. We talk about Darren Hall and Cornell Armstrong. I think those guys are just camp bodies. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't know if they make. I don't know if they make it out of training camp on this roster.
There's a lot of bodies on this roster right now where you're looking at so much talent. Even when you come to the linebacker room, like you guys got like 8 edge rushers right now. It's like it's crazy right now.
They're not all gonna make it. Yeah, they're not all gonna make it. And like a lot of fans, and I'm sure you guys remember that very infamous Cincinnati game. AJ went down. Who do we have at corner? Darren Hall, Mike Ford, and Cornell Armstrong. Do the Falcons actually want to do that again if history does repeat itself? They're going to want to have some sort of trio that they can bank on. If one falls, here's another guy with the same amount of athletic playability that we just lost. So I don't think the Falcons will make that mistake again. So again, this goes back to saying if Christian Gonzalez there at 8, gotta take Christian Gonzalez. I'll take Devin Witherspoon too. There's not really that much of a drop off for him in his style of play neither.
Falcon fans, it's always great to have Alberto here because even when you're listening on his podcast and he's over here or however we're talking about it, it's the truth. Every pick makes sense here for the Falcons. There's going to be a reason why. If you're going to see them on draft night and say, Bijan Robinson, why? Such and such was on the board. There's a reason why, right? So you have to look at what the Falcons are doing. Chase, question goes to you now. Christian Gonzalez, let's just say Carter was your big guy. There's always the one guy you want to get.
Yeah.
And then there's always BPA players around that. But there's a big name on the board you want to circle. If Carter is gone, let's just say he's gone at 5. Let's just say Tyree Wilson goes to the Raiders at 7. Let's just say.
That's my next
on the board. Robinson's there. Gonzalez is there. Every pick makes sense. But Casey Hayward now being released a week before the draft, another move made before the Falcons kind of gets Falcon fans talking. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Could Christian Gonzalez be a Falcon on draft night? Chase 1000.
Absolutely, man. He's definitely the better shutdown cornerback in the draft. He's the best pass coverage, man-to-man coverage, excellent at man-to-man. Alberto's talking about his explosiveness. He's very explosive, very good on breakdowns of target. The man's hands are really well. So, yeah, I've been big on Christian since I first viewed him. You watch his highlights, before all these mock drafts. So this is a guy 6'2", I believe, 6'2", 6'3", 200-something pounds. Another AJ Terrell build, Jeff Okudah build.
He's a Richard Sherman guy. This guy's he's a dominant cornerback right now.
So he's a player that we already know that can progress in the NFL, somebody that's proved himself in college. So Christian Gonzalez at 8 would be nice. I'd love it.
Falcon fans, what you don't know is pretty much what the team is going to look like come in the fall. People see Mike Hughes being signed and like, oh, he's the slot. Got to be the slot. It's him. He's the slot. We don't know if he's going to be the 4. You don't know if he's going to be trading on more like dime packages, if he's going to be in there as an extra buy. You don't know if Okudah's going to slide inside if they draft Christian Gonzalez. We don't know what the team's going to be. Everything's unofficial. You see a bunch of players coming in the building, but a lot of shit is unofficial right now. People's talking about where Carter's going to be at. Oh, Carter got to be playing in the middle more. Look, they got Evan Katie, they got Malone, they got Campbell, they got Bud Dupree. Where's Carter going to fit?
Yeah.
Falcon fans, a lot of stuff is unofficial. Let them get out there in the field and let's see the breakdown. Scott Karisic, I must say, does a good job of putting together, the roster of how it stands. whenever a player is released or a player is signed or roster moves and so forth. And that's how I seen they had 7 edge rushers. They got 12 cornerbacks right now. Like there's a lot of camp bodies out here.
Yeah.
What about the dude from San Diego? Nobody's mentioning that's San Diego. The kid from the Chargers, Joe Graziano. Nobody's mentioning him too as well.
Yeah.
Tay Davis, linebacker from the Browns that we brought over in the free agency. Not too much talk about him. Where does he fit in? So there's a lot of things going on with this Falcons team. And then Red Swarm here comes with a comment, Chase and Alberto. I think Casey Hayward will re-sign with us later once he is healthy and he's able to pass his physical.
That could most definitely happen. You know, you talk about he signed what, 2 years, $11 million. We save 5. We take on $2 million dead money. You know, there's a possibility that still, you know,
it still comes back full circle in a way, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So Red Swarm, man, he's 100% correct, man. Yeah.
Very agree.
And you know, it would make sense though. If you guys think about it, it would make sense. It would just drafting a corner would really put like the icing on the cake, so to say, with this pass rush because it works hand in hand. You know, you sign Bates, you got Terrell, you got Okuda now. Hey, we take a Christian Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon, but let's not forget all the pieces that we add to rush the quarterback now with the Campbells and the Caden Ellis. We bring in Bud Dupree. We re-sign Zoe Carter. Nielsen's got a full bag of Arsenal here to work.
Oh, you forgot Jesse Bates. I'm sorry. There's a couple
Jesse
more names
Bates.
you forgot over there.
How could I, right? Jesus. So
respect, like, bro.
Hey,
respect.
Right, that's a fact. And you know, cover 3 comes into full effect. Man, who the hell is really who's gonna have time in that pocket? Yeah. Honestly, this is gonna be a pass rush like we've never seen. But you know, that all goes if we do elect to sign. Or I'm sorry, draft. Jesus Christ, I'm excited. Gonzalez or Witherspoon, man.
Yeah. You know, you talk about Witherspoon. That's really your slot guy. That's a headhunter. Devin Witherspoon, freaking headhunter, dude.
Yeah.
Going to the chat. Pop-up show here tonight. Chat is lit. Carrie's in the chat. She'll be with us on draft night. Carrie said, I know Berto low-key was digging that news today, Gonzo at 8. Do you think we could bring Casey back on later? We just spoke about that. Facts. It's possible. It would be nice. I think the contract will kind of still come back to where you paid him and the dead cap and all that. It will still come back around. You're not going to pay him $12 million if he comes back. Yeah. But the defense is set up where I would like to have a Casey Hayward back. But the injury, it's about where he just said. It's about where's he at? It's about what Red Swarm just said. Is he able to pass the physical? The physical is big when you look at it today because it's not like it's a regular release. He didn't pass the physical. So as you know, as we're sitting here playing video games and watching the Hawks, Falcons are conducting business at Flowery Branch.
Yes, sir.
And for news to come out like this a week before the draft kind of puts you on I'm moving Christian Gonzalez back up into the big board just in case. But he was top 5 for me. He started to back away from top 5 to like bottom 5 and 10, and now he's slowly getting back up into the top 5 again. That's why we do these pop-up shows. Every day, something is different in the NFL or the Atlanta Falcons. What if we wake up tomorrow and the Carolina Panthers has traded their pick to the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine that. It could happen. We haven't had this much news since, 2015? When we were really active. Mohamed Sanu signing, Alex Mack signing, all these key little signings, man. Then it's been crickets ever since. And now, lo and behold, we've been treated to the best offseason in recent memory, man.
Yeah. So the cool thing about it is you're excited for damn near every move that is made where you're like,
because they make sense.
It makes sense. And then the draft makes sense too as well. That's why we talked about it. Skronsky makes sense.
It does.
If he's going to play guard, he can play guard. If it doesn't work for McGarry, he's going to play your tackle. If Matthews ends up in the next 2 or 3 years, he's out the door, swing him over to your other side. Yeah. But it makes sense. Bijan Robinson, situation with CP. We spoke about that.
Right.
Tyler Algier gracefully got 1,000 yards last year, but do you want more in the backfield? Huntley's coming back from the injury. You don't even play Avery Williams like that. Now, if you go next week before the draft and you sign a guard and a running back top tier to where you know they're on the 53. Yep. Oh, you ain't going guard and running back.
Hell no.
Let's just break that down. But then we have to do another pop-up show because something has changed here with the Falcons. But you're looking at moves being made every day with the Falcons. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Okay, Casey Hayward's out. The Christian Gonzalez talk now comes into more into the light. So, Falcon fans, we're going to get to the chat here because we got one more thing to talk about. Because we are super lit tonight. We about to draft them, Jack. Berto wants Gonzo. I like Spoon, but it doesn't matter. Either one doesn't matter. I wouldn't get Spoon at 8.
Yeah.
I'm not a Spoon at 8 guy. He's in my top 10, but there's only 2 corners in my top 10. There's Gonzalez and Spoon.
Mhm.
There's one guard in my top 10. There's Skronsky. And that's because he could play all 3 positions. Hell, if Dom doesn't work out, he can play center too. There's only one running back in my top 10. There is Bijan Robinson. There's only one wide receiver. It's Jackson Smith. Jalen Carter's also there too as well, and Tyree Wilson. So I think there's pretty much every player that can. I'd be shocked if they go Miles Murphy or Luke Van Ness.
Yeah, at 8.
Because they wasn't on the board that I had, and I'm looking at the roster, and it's like, okay, Falcons, what are you doing? But then again, I'm not finna bash or hate.
Right.
Bro, I cannot see the Falcons drafting somebody on just pure hustle. I'll put it like that. Van Ness wasn't a starter. He's only played that position for 2 years, you know. And if you watch the tape, he's very stiff, man.
I've listened to
somebody said he's like a Brooks Reed in 23.
That he plays a lot off of muscle. You know,
and that's why they call him Baby Hercules in Iowa. In Iowa, he had that nickname because that was all he relied on was his pure power. That can only get you so far, man. You got to play 4 quarters of this physical game. Yep. You're gonna gas, man. And Miles Murphy, man, I just got this thing about Clemson linemen. I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid of him. I'm good, man.
When that turned out,
I just got this thing about a fan in like his 50s or 60s, like, let's go, Baby Hercules, like Baby Hercules. That's his name. How long you been a fan? All right.
Let me ask you all a question: Is there intrigue in you guys wanting the Falcons to trade out of the 8 spot? You know, acquire more picks. Do you see somebody potentially coming up to number 8?
I think if the Falcons drop back out of 8, I'm saying receiver. I think if they drop out of 8, they go receiver at 15 or 14. I've said it in the group chat. I mean, I know it's not a sexy pick that everybody wants to see because we just did Kyle Pitts, and you did Drake London. Then it'll be another receiver, 3 years in a row offense. But some of these receivers are talented, man. Quentin Johnson, like you said, buddy, from Ohio State, he's a beast too. So I think whatever you do, it's going to help because you're also going to get more draft picks, probably another second. So you're picking with 2 seconds in the draft. So you got a receiver and you got whatever else you want, guard, defensive tackle, whatever it is. This draft can go so many ways. I mean,
would you guys agree that wide receiver is probably how do I say it? It's the group that needs the most attention at the moment. Because really, other than Drake London and Mac Hollins, what do you have? I mean, you're not going to rely on Kadaro Hodge. Kadaro Hodge, to me, is probably going to carve out a niche on special teams.
He's a gunner.
Watch out there on the outside. But, we got Jared Bernhardt. What else?
A big flashy number 2.
So
other than Kyle Pitts, you know, but he's a tight end.
Yeah. I mean,
however you use it, I think it can pan out.
Chess piece in this offense, we could see him go back to his rookie year where they lined him up everywhere, which I'm praying that we do, because that way we can utilize him on the outside. So yeah, man. To Chase's point, you know what I mean? If we do trade back significantly into that 14-15 range, that's also a possibility. Yep. That's also a possibility. This draft is so rich in depth. You know, you can find another corner in round 2. You can find a stud running back in round 4.
Start Gordon the second.
Yep. Starting corners, defensive linemen, edge. You can find them. This draft is loaded with prospects. You just got to coach them up a bit. But hey, by the way, our defensive coordinator is a whisper in that, so we can rely on that. So, but yeah, man, wide receiver is not out the question either.
So Falcon fans, and this is the thing about having a podcast, and sometimes I hate it because I try to get everything that I can out when I'm speaking to everybody, but I might miss some things, and it's like, damn, I wish I could go back and say it again to you guys. There's so many scenarios the Falcons can go that make sense, and you have to agree with it because let's just say the wide receiver is the move in draft night. Look at your wide receiver room.
Yeah.
You have Drake London, who your rookie is going to be your franchise wide receiver, we hope here for long term. You have Mac Hollins, who's on a 1 year. You have Scotty Miller on a 1 year. And I think they're going to put CP and Pitts in more of a pass catching role to help out with Ritter this season. Either CP more at the backfield or stepping up. However, but the year, it's going to be a different year for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
But every move makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, Country was on the show the other night. We was talking about this. If you do trade back and you collect some more value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say next year it doesn't work out with Desmond Ridder. You might end up using a pick to draft a quarterback in the first round.
Do we want that next round?
It's tough to make a decision, but I think that's. Let's just say I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
But this is a crazy draft scenario for next year. Let's just say Ridder is benched by week 8, week 9. Heineke comes in, finishes the season. We have a turnaround. We go to the playoffs. Ridder's still benched. He's not going to be your starting quarterback the year after. It's not going to happen. It was benched in week 8, week 9.
Yeah,
You have a first-round pick next year that you are going to use to probably get a quarterback. And like we talked about on the show, Alberto, with the Lamar Jackson news and the CJ Stroud news, there is always a quarterback in the draft they're going to bump up to the top 10 or top 15, maybe 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they got the kid from Texas they're talking about, the kid from North Carolina they're talking about, the kid from USC they're talking about.
Yep.
So you mean to tell me you can't get one of them quarterbacks in the draft next year if you really want them?
If you really want them, yeah.
And you acquire some more value by trading back a pick this year. So every scenario works with the Falcons on what they're doing. I want to see a guy at 8 go.
Yeah.
Because the Falcons have been – I like the Pitts move at 4. I like the Drake London move. I want to see what they do at 8. Now, if they trade back, all right, get some more picks. Load up. Because Terry's a draft guy. You've been doing well with it.
Right.
But if you draft him back and you go get a Miles Murphy or a Luke Van Ness, then I'm gonna look at it like, who else was on the board around that? Let's just find out here first before I start not really bashing or hating, but it's like, okay, what does he bring to the Falcons? But you have to question it like, damn, I wish we would have had such a. If you would have drafted Miles Murphy and Luke Van Ness, I'm going to question the other players around that. Mm-hmm. If you draft Carter, Gonzalez, Robinson, Skronsky, Tyree Wilson, oh, you got to question shit.
Party.
Ain't no question about it. I ain't questioning nothing.
Facts, man.
You know, but let's just say you trade back and you draft. Give me a throwaway name.
Kevin White. Kevin White from Georgia Tech.
Keon White.
Wow. The project. Be a little too rich for him, man. That's a certain reach in the first round.
Heavy reach if you go back and get him.
In the first round,
the safety from Alabama.
Oh, Brian Branch.
Yeah. No fan would be expecting the safety from Alabama, but on one time for the fan, we will go back and play Lieutenant Dan when he mentioned Cuz from Alabama.
Yeah, he did. He was very high with him as well.
So some moves fit. Some moves fans gonna look at and say, "I can't believe we showed up to Atlantic Station for this. I can't believe we did this."
Man,
because you know draft nights at Atlantic Stations, draft party.
It's gonna be lit, man.
Falcon fans, bring your questions to the chat. Bring your comments to the chat. We're gonna wrap it up here shortly. Let's go ahead and get to the next segment. There was some news, Alberta, that popped up about Desmond Ridder when he had the press conference. He was talking about somebody asked him a question about does he see all the news that was happening in the media, and of course he responded with, "I think he has a TV in the house, so of course he's heard it." But the TV doesn't take it as far as Twitter and social media and some of that other stuff too as well. You will hear the Lamar talks because Fox 5 talked about it and WSB talked about it. But I'm guessing as a 21, 22-year-old kid, what is he, in between that age?
22, yeah.
Your wife is somewhere in that range. Your family members are somewhere around that range. Your friends are somewhere around that range. Somebody got social media around your camp.
Oh, yeah. He got social media. He's just low-key. That's all it is, man. He's got it. He's just low-key, man. He's prevalent. He knows what's going on. He just does a great job at blocking. And a lot of these athletes are. They do a great job blocking all of that nonsense. But seeing what Ridder's makeup is, I wouldn't doubt it that he uses that to fuel him and just want to go out and grind and work harder and prove those naysayers, wrong. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he knows what the hell's going on just by his answer. This is TV in the house. That's like I know what's going on, and I'll keep it at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
but
he's got that little swag about it.
When he talks to the people, he talks with the sense like, you think like he's a veteran quarterback in this league. Like he talks just so
he does
just so mature.
Yep, exactly.
And then you kind of think about going back to when he was with Steve Mariucci on the bus that day, talking about the play calling when they was doing the play on the board.
Yeah.
And Steve Mariucci broke down the play and then he flipped the board over to the other side and he broke down what he would do. And I'm like, dude, this kid is smart as hell. Then I go back to the podcast that we did with Jeff Howell. Chase with Cincinnati's podcast when they mentioned, they're big Bearcat fans and they mentioned how they're just excited for Desmond Ridder. Like he's going to win with you guys. Like, trust me, they're heavy. Then I go to the game when I was at the Bengals, and Bengals fans would turn around to me like, "Boy, you guys just wait till Ritter gets in. You guys are gonna love this." I'm hearing everything, and it all fast forwards to now, where it's like I'm heavy on the kid to play, heavy on the kid to go win. And I wasn't too big on the Lamar Jackson situation. I understand fans wanted it. I was looking at the money and the contract and all the extra stuff. He's a great player, but you drafted Ritter for a reason, and I wanted the kid to go play. Yeah. This is the year we get to see what he can do. And I must say, the team is built around him in a very good way.
Sure. Yeah.
I must say, Matt Ryan's probably pissed right now looking like, I can't believe it.
Like, damn, I never got that type of help. God damn.
Calais Campbell. I remember, he didn't even, my text is still undelivered. He didn't even look at my text.
Oh, man.
But Chase, Alberto,
yeah, the
noise around Ritter, the talk around Ritter, is he hype? Is he ready? He sees the team. He sees what's going on. Is this his moment now? Should Falcon fans be ready? Remember what he said, you're going to get a Super Bowl out of me.
Yeah.
And now this is his moment to go lead this team to victory. Are we ready for Ritter? Is it really Ritter's season right now, Falcon fans?
I'll take it back a bit, man. I go last year before he got drafted, he got the phone call. He's talking to coach. He's like, man, they done messed up, man. I shouldn't have taken this long. This kid has a hunger and a fire in him. I'm excited to see him play, man. But like you mentioned, I think the key thing is putting the right pieces around him, because you don't want to set him up for failure in any way possible. Securing the defense and then that much more coming up in the draft is going to be key. Putting better pieces around him offensively is going to do wonders for him, I believe. We saw it in the Lions game in the preseason. The kid has a moxie. There's something about this kid, man. It screams winning. Threw an interception, came right back, wasn't fazed by it, man. So most rookies, man, they be on the bench with their head down. Man, he was just ready to go for the next play. He had short-term memory. Gotta love the makeup of this kid, man. I'm excited to see him play this year for sure, man. Yes, the whole Lamar Jackson situation. Hey, I was one of them. I was rooting for Lamar to be here, but that's just speaking from an angry fan's perspective. I want to win now. You know what I mean? I'm tired of being in this hole of 6 years and not doing anything, man. But, the Falcons really 180 this year, gave us a real great offseason. And with the draft being around the corner, I know that they're going to do the best thing by Ritter and give him what he needs. More arsenal to this offense.
I know you mentioned LJ. We don't want to talk too much about that because that's in the past. But would you have been excited if Jack Spade was the quarterback with the Atlanta Falcons? Because I hear a lot about LJ during that time. I want to say that I heard the news too. I was listening to the media. A lot of people talking about Ritter, and then Heineke got signed. I was like, what direction are they going? Because my phone ain't called. I ain't getting no phone. No. Nobody hit me up. So I'm like, did they get the tape? You know what I'm saying? But would you be cool if Jack Spade was the quarterback?
Man. Yeah, it's going to be hard, though, man, because Big Low got some tape, some footage out there, man, doing his best. Well, I shouldn't say doing his best, doing an Anthony Richardson-like performance on the field. So it's going to be hard to top that. I don't know if you've seen that yet. You got to tap into that and see the footwork. Guy screams athleticism. Jack, you got to put one out there, man. You got to put one.
Said the guy screams athleticism. Did he finish the 40?
I don't know if he finished the
40. Shout out Big Low.
I told Coach next year. You know what we're doing? You know what we're doing next year for the draft, Alberto? Right here on One Time for Fan, we calling it. We're doing a content creator combine. We're doing it next year.
Wow.
Content creator. I want pound for pound out there.
Let's go.
Every single Falcoholic, tag them. I want everybody out there. We're gonna find out who is the best content creator that the Falcons would draft. I'm talking about throws, wide receiver drills, running back drill, cone drills, everything. My country said he got everything over there. I said bring everything. We're gonna bring the damn bleachers out. We're gonna have fans out there. We're gonna sell lemonade. You from New York, you're gonna sell some glizzies. We're gonna be out here. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Lamar's in the chat saying, yo, what up? Bubba Gump is in the chat. You already know he's representing the red and black. Falcon fans, Chase, question goes to you. What move was exciting for you to put around Ritter this season? Is it the defense to know that they can stop some offenses this year and get off the field on third down, give us more chances offensively? Or was there a player that you saw with Mac Hollins move, the Scotty Miller move? You think about the draft, like what is it that's got you so hype around Ritter with some of the players?
Something that's got me hype, it would be the defense, man. I got to go defense. The Calais Campbell had to be the most exciting signing just because, to me, a guy like that is going to sign with a team that hasn't made it to the playoffs in 5 or 6 years. It's somebody that believes in this team. A guy that sees a winning team, a guy that wants to come here and maybe finish off his career, somebody that can teach younger players. So it's definitely got to be the Calais Campbell. That's definitely the exciting pick. Jesse Bates, that was a very exciting one. Jeff Okudah, coming out of college into the draft, I actually liked him higher than AJ Terrell. So to have Okudah come in was nice. Glad we drafted AJ. So, but yeah, Calais Campbell, man.
Falcon fans, I want you to know this about Calais Campbell's too, as we can get to this. You good for about another 10 more minutes, Alberto?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chase, you good about another 10 more?
Yeah.
We'll do this a little 15 minutes of grace. I ain't got no esports tonight. Calais Campbell getting text from Aaron Rodgers about joining the Jets. And then let me tell you about some of the bullshit that you will hear in the NFL, Falcon fans. Remember this dude said, I ain't giving nobody no list. I ain't talking to nobody. I've been in the dark. I've been in the dark hole.
Yep, the rap.
Man, this dude texting players left and right, bro. I guarantee you there's some more text messages of people. Remember what he said to Adam Schefter? Lose my number.
Yeah,
he ain't said that to Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nope.
Trying to go beef up the damn Jets over there.
Yep.
I didn't send no list about Cobb and Lazard and Odell. But no, it wasn't me.
Cat.
Don't be. I'm telling you, Falcon fans, don't feed into some of this shit you hear in the NFL. They said Aaron Donald was coming to the Falcons. Look, they're talking. Boy, don't believe some of this shit you see online, man. When Aaron Rodgers said that shit, that he was in the dark hole, he ain't talking to nobody, he didn't send no list. Then the Jets signed players off the list. They tried to go get Odell. The Calais Campbell news came out. Calais was straightforward. Told him no.
Yep. Yep.
Said, nah, bro. Calais was probably like, bro, who the hell texted me from Wisconsin?
Yeah, parts unknown at this point.
Parts unknown. Probably said no caller ID on it. You get a text from no caller ID. Some star 67 number texts you, hey, you want to come play in New York?
What a creep.
What a weirdo.
What a weirdo, man. He's a goofy.
Oh, what a cornball.
Oh, man.
Yo, but I'm telling you, Alberto,
yeah.
How big is it that a veteran like Calais Campbell?
When I heard that, man, with Josina, it was tremendous. And I saw it, through Josina Anderson and her crew, interviewing him. And he was just spilling it out, man. He really gave us the stamp of approval. Well, more so Desmond Ritter than anything. Mm-hmm. I believe if I'm not mistaken, Ritter was with somebody reviewing film, and that right there was like, man, that was eye-opening to him. So, man, I'm just happy that Calais Campbell's with the Falcons, man. There's no other way to put it. A veteran presence like that, who knows what it takes to win in this league, can coach up these younger guys that we have on the line. It's just even Grady, as much of a veteran that he is, he's gonna stand to learn something from Calais, man. So it's gonna have such a unbelievable trickle effect. Dare I say, it's gonna have more of an impact than when we had Dwight Freeney here during the Super Bowl, man. I just view that impact that great, man. And for him to just talk about the Falcons and how they're operating, man, it's just 100 all the way, man.
Calais gets his 100th sack week 2 against the Lions. They're driving the field to get in field goal range. Calais gets the sack. 4th down. Game over. Falcon fans head back.
Oh, man.
To Atlanta. Lit as hell. Drake's statement says Berto got Beasley PTSD. Is that true?
Yo, big time, bro. Big time. Oh, my God. Big time, man. Yo, let me say something right quick, man. When we drafted him, I was like, okay, this guy's a one-trick pony. Yeah. This guy's a one fucking trick pony, man. Yeah. And truth be told, man, after that 16.5 sack season, what did he do? Nothing. He lost to White, and then it was a wrap for him. Yeah. Pretty much, man. I didn't like him coming out of Clemson. I really didn't. So that's what started souring me with these Clemson defensive linemen, man.
Bubba Gump, pass rusher at 8 seems like bad comer because of what happened a number of years ago. Vic Beasley at 8, and don't forget, before Vic Beasley at 8, Jamal Anderson was at 8. Not the running back, the dude that looks like JJ Icefish from them Vine videos back in the day.
Oh man,
Remember JJ Icefish doing a little dance?
yeah. Oh Lord, you went there with that one, man.
Stop it. Out of your Falcon Mine is in the building. I know they're probably working on their 1,000th show. They just hit 100. What up, boys? Popping in quick before the next, next ball game. We'll catch the show tomorrow. Much love. That's probably John right there. So shout out to John.
Yeah, man. Shout out to John. Good luck, Liam.
Shout out to John and Mike out of your Falcon Mind.
Yes, sir.
Drake's true statement. Honestly, I don't think these wide receivers are worth the first round, high second round. Yeah, you can't go wrong if it's Jackson Smith. You can't go wrong if it's Quentin Johnson. To hear that the NFL didn't invite Quentin Johnson to the draft,
yeah,
probably shows that he might slide back to the second round. Maybe you get him in the second. Big body receiver like Arthur Smith type wants, and he would be your wide receiver too for a couple years to come.
Facts. A lot of wide receivers in this draft class, man. A lot. Zay Flowers is another guy. The knock on him is his height. You know, that's it.
He's 5'10", right? With cleats.
Yeah, something like 5'9", 5'10", something like that, yeah.
You have a Scotty Miller too as well. He ran a 4.39 40.
Yes, he was a burner.
Tyreek Hill ran a 4.29, so he says he's faster than Tyreek right now. They can go, and that was a couple years ago. He put the report out, but we'll see what happens this year. Fall Star Falcon, we're gonna go draft BPA. Truly, every position that you go for is BPA.
Pretty much.
You need a wide receiver for long term. It could be a BPA. You need a guard right now. It's BPA with Skronsky. Running back could be BPA. With run every play. You're sitting at 8. What player is not best player available on your draft board? In what position group? Cornerback, Christian Gonzalez. Edge, Jalen Carter. If you want to go more of a tactical, Tyree Wilson. There's a couple players out there that you're looking at. Even Nolan Smith could be a player on somebody's draft board. You got to look at some of these things and say it's possible. But they're going to draft BPA, and you should not be upset who they draft next week. I think Falcon fans would be more upset at the fact that they didn't draft the player that they wanted.
That's where the uproar comes.
That's where the uproar comes from, because you're like, oh, you got such and such. You didn't go get. Look, he's right there on the board.
Yep.
Versus why did they get this player, and how can he help the Falcons?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to scream versatility and scheme fit more than anything. So we got to know why we took him. If we took Tyree Wilson at 8, we know why we took Tyree Wilson at 8. He'll come in, he'll bring so much more to that edge group. But this is a guy that can who screams versatility as well, who could play defensive tackle too. So this guy, we can utilize him in multiple ways. And I'm gonna ask you guys something now. How would you guys prioritize the needs for the Falcons? Is guard top, or is guard the last thing on your list? Like how are you shuffling that deck there? What do you go number 1?
I'll just throw it in here, Chase. You can go after me. That I heard about the Matt Hennessy kind of ties to guard, and I'm cool with it because you drafted Hennessy. I have no problem with it. You drafted this whole line. I mean, you want to see this line develop into being probably the greatest line in the NFL. Hopefully this year. But that guard spot, if you're not using Hennessy, it's a priority. Because after the draft, you don't have long before camp starts.
Right.
So if you're going to bring in a guy with some of the money you got from Hayward, if you don't decide to bring him back, who is the guy? You let Wilkerson go. He's probably going to start for the Cardinals. Could have kept Wilkerson. Could have been here starting over here. The guard position would have been locked down. Maybe it is Hennessy to shift over that spot. Somebody said Kobe Gassett or Gassett could be the guy to put into the spot. Some people say Justin Schaefer could be the guy who can come up and take the spot. I don't know the Falcons' direction at guard, but on my list as a fan, it's up there because you loaded the hell up on defense this year, and that guard spot is very big.
It is.
It's the starting position. If you want to have people battle in camp, that's cool. But if it's Hennessy, all right. If it's Schaefer, all right. But I'm seeing it as a top 3 for me on my big board. I think if Carter's playing more inside, I'm perfectly fine with it because you're going to have Grady, Carter, and Omiata here next year while Campbell is on a 1 year, Goldman's on a 1 year, Tyquan Graham, you don't know the situation, Arnold Ebiketie and D'Angelo Malone's situation too as well if they don't produce. But if you draft Carter, he'll be here, Grady will be here, Omiata will be here. We know that.
Right.
So I'm looking at the defense like, what do you need? Cornerback, we talked about it tonight. Secondary, with Okudah, Mike Hughes, if somebody goes down, what do you do? but that guard spot is open.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you had a bunch of players that you signed around. You signed another tackle too recently.
Yeah,
the Greenridge
right.
kid. I don't think he's the guard, but that position is open. Like there is a spot that needs to be filled, and I don't think it's Hennessy. They might like him, but that's how I look at my BPA. I think guard is up there, and you can get it with Skronsky. You won't be upset too as well. I think running back is up there too because we talked about it with CP, and you don't play Avery. Caleb Huntley situation is really Tyler Algier out there, and if you put CP in more of a pass catching role, who's your backup back?
Right,
but then again, next week you go sign a running back, you go sign a guard, and then you take it right off my damn big board.
That can happen.
But a week before the draft, I think guard is a priority. You have to look at with Skronsky or even Paris Johnson or the kid.
It is.
They talked about that too on the radio. Running back 2 as well. Wide receiver 2 with Jackson Smith if he was to trade back. I love the Jalen Carter move, but that guard spot is hitting me like
much respect.
You haven't filled the position yet.
It's very valid. We had 4 starting linemen last year. We started off with Wilkerson. Gossett came in.
Hennessy played some too as well.
And we ended with Hennessy. You know, he started the last couple games. So you have an amazing point. Yeah, left guard should be very much at the top of everybody's list, really. And the way the offseason has gone, the Falcons could afford to do a move like that. Now it's not going to be it's not going to be what everybody else wants, but damn it, it's what the team needs, and that's what it's all about. So if they say, okay, it's going to be Paris Johnson or it's going to be Skronsky, sorry, Falcon fans, man, you got to see it from their point of view. They got a plan for that pick to be one of those guards or one of those tackles. So
it's the uproar you spoke about. They drove 30, 40 miles from Woodstock to go down to Atlantic Station. They bought like $150 worth of alcohol, and then they name a guard or a tackle, and you're like, what are you guys doing? There's a reason why. But Chase, guard, is it heavy on your list right now? I know we talked about it in the one time for the fan chat. We threw wide receiver around. We're just trying to put the pieces to the puzzle, looking at the roster. The roster's the big thing because the 53 has to trim down. You're like, who is making it here and who is not? So what is it to you, Chase, with the guard spot? Big or?
If I had to give a rundown on my top 5, you know, they do on draft nights, top 5 needs, I'd say number 1, guard. Number 2, I'd go receiver. 3, cornerback. 4, defensive line.
Oh my God,
that's my top 4. I think guard's a very big void. You know, that's the only spot that you don't have a secure player. Everywhere else, we know what's kind of going to fill in there. We don't know if it's going to be Hennessy, if it's going to be Gossett. So just to even hear Paris or Skronsky, I mean, that's 2 big names that's made a name for themselves in college that led the league in pass blocking. I think Skronsky gave up one or 2. Yeah, 1 sack. So to have a guy like that to come in that can play guard or tackle or whatever you need him to do. So, yeah, Skronsky, hey, that's a sexy pick to me. I'm cool with it.
One thing we know, Falcons fans, you cannot be upset with whatever the pick is made. You're only going to be upset if it's not the player that you wanted.
That's it.
Falcons are going to go in there. Terry's made the best decision this offseason for you, for the team, for the city, for the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, for the fans that's traveling from all over the world. You have to trust what they're going to do on draft night. Once again, that quarterback position with Ritter, like I talked about earlier, next year's draft. You know, 2 of the free agent quarterbacks, I believe that's next year. Is it not Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert? He's one of the. You're not getting neither one of them.
Them brothers are gonna break banks so bad, man. Yeah. Oh man, this sitting back right now is like, damn, Jalen, thank you, man. Thank you.
You see different scenarios why some fans would say, take Stroud now, take Will now. Some people are saying, hey, wait till next year. That Caleb Williams is coming out. The kid from UNC is coming out. There's so many routes the Falcons can go in so many positions. But what we want to do is look at this year, and I think every fan should be excited for the offseason. Every fan should be excited for every move Terry has made. He talked about it in the press conference earlier this year with the season ticket holders. The moves that they made in the past 2 years put them in this position right now.
Well said.
And if you look at the past 2 years, as disappointing as it may have been, Terry is right. Go back to the past and then fast forward to the future. When Terry said it this year, the moves we made in the past 2 years has put us in position right now. And it is true. The hostile environment in the Benz, the cap space, letting go of Matt, letting go of Julio, moving on, new direction of the team. Arthur Smith, the connection that they have, the Dean Pease situation, the Ryan Nielsen move now, the draft that's coming up, some of these names that's been mentioned in Atlanta here this year should have you ready to know that this team is going to fight like hell on defense and they're going to put some points on the board on offense. And if they continue like what they did last year, Alberto, even Ritter, you should be scoring more than 20 every game. And in the NFL, if you're putting up more than 20 every game, if your defense is shutting down some shit, that's a win.
Yep. A
lot of teams are what was the Denver Broncos game this year, like 9-3 or something? When they played on Sunday night, that horrible game that was on Sunday night, it was like 6-3 or some crap, whatever they It can happen, Falcons fans. You put up 20 points a game with this defense, you're gonna shut some shit down. I see us getting a lot of interceptions. I see us getting a lot of sacks. I see us moving the chains. I see us getting in the red zone. Jonnu Smith, Mac Hollins, Tyler Algier, CP, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Look at these weapons I'm just naming who can score.
Right. We were just talking about weapons and stuff like that, and we failed to mention Jonnu Smith, another physical guy that has, a history with Arthur Smith. Albeit it was only screens that he was getting, but you see the physicality in his yards after catch, man. He's going to make some noise here. He's probably going to do all the middle work for us and let Kyle Pitts just work the perimeter and maybe some inside too. So that's another move. That's a low-key awesome signing awesome trade, I should say.
What defense is doing in most big packages when you see Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson and Jonnu Smith, Drake London out there, and then Tyler Algier in your backfield?
Oh, man, it's big.
We didn't even mention if Bijan Robinson is selected. It could be Bijan Robinson too as well. We didn't mention that. Could be Jackson Smith. Man, there's so many weapons right now the Falcons have. Like, every fan should be, like, really putting up your car flags. I need every Falcon fan to put their car flags up probably starting Monday and let these folks know from out of town, let these folks know that this is Atlanta. And we riding with the Falcons, and you put them flags up, people know draft is coming up. And there's another statement that when you put these flags up, Alberto, this is how I look at it. You put them flags up, especially when you're looking at the season right now, it hasn't even started yet. We're going to have some fan, you're going to have some Bucks fan, some Saints fan drive by you. You'll see them flags. You see what I'm going with this? You laughing already? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Shit.
Got on that damn cap space, man. He probably got somebody in the car with him that knows football too. Hell yeah, they just signed Jesse Bates too. They got Jesse Bates. Damn. He one of the best safeties in the league.
In the words of the great Big Low, got to get that hate out your heart, man.
You got to get the hate out your heart, bro. I'm telling you, there's going to be some fans. You know, Atlanta's a melting pot for fans from different cities. And there's some teams out there that's ass, as Scott Karisic said. And they're going to be driving up. See you with them Falcon flags like, oh, y'all are definitely riding high before the season starts. Because look at the team. On paper right now, we're projected to probably win the NFC South.
I got a quick question for y'all. Any bold moves that you guys see happen? I got one to address. But do you guys see any teams making any bold moves, in this draft overall?
Chase?
I think the Detroit Lions could shock everybody and draft their future quarterback. I said it a while back. Me and Jack talked about it with Bodie. I think Jared Goff has been there a couple years, and he's a solid quarterback. I mean, the guy's got decent weapons. I know they just lost their receiver to gambling, but a quarterback could really seal that piece. They could get a quarterback and bring in their franchise and maybe ship Jared Goff off somewhere. This is a team. This is a hot take. Not saying it'll happen.
For me, I forget who was on the show. Is it Scott Karisic? He mentioned the 49ers not being too confident with Lance and Purdy. It's a team to watch. All the news about the Tennessee Titans being really quiet, making those moves, acquiring all that cap space. That's been big too as well. The Panthers even talking about, hey, remember when they got the pick? Hey, we'll trade the pick. We don't give a shit. We'll throw us an offer. It's just a lot of moves that can happen. Detroit, like Chase just said, I think for the Falcons would be a surprising move is you make a trade and you go get your guard before draft day and you kind of shut the talks up of who the starting line is going to be. So you get a big body in here, a big name in here that fans will say, oh, that's the guy we've been looking for. Or if they go sign a running back, or if they go sign another wide receiver, it kind of lowers your expectations of what you're going to expect on draft night. And that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I want to know on draft. I want to know on Tuesday who we're drafting. I don't want to sit there Thursday like,
Yeah. That's
I really want to know
me,
on Tuesday, like, oh, that's the guy. Oh, Falcons Falcons head down to Athens to go meet with Jalen. Oh, that's him.
That's him.
It's Carter.
Yeah.
It's him. Last workout, last meeting. So there's a lot of things that could be surprising with the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a move for the guard position. Maybe it takes Scrancy off my draft board because I'm cool with the draft pick, but I want to go defense. I really want to go defense. That's what I want. But I'm also cool with any other pick the Falcons make. But it's possible a move Terry makes, make a trade, get a guard in here, go sign a running back. Draft day, though, if you're talking about that type of move, the Lions, the Titans, and the 49ers possibly end up messing up some people's day.
Yeah. And one of those teams you just mentioned is going to make our day. But before that one, Kerry, yes, I'm going to get Bates and Algier. Those are the two jerseys I'm going to get.
You're getting the Bates jersey.
Yes, sir. Got to get that, man. But back to the topic. It came across NFL Network, I think it was last week. And the bold move that they put on was Arthur Smith reuniting with Derrick Henry. So he has the Falcons or the Titans trading up to number 8, swapping picks, but handing over Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I was like, "What? Wait a minute."
Yeah,
that would be dope. If that was to happen, that would change the entire. Man, that changes. That kind of messes up the draft, man.
That could be crazy, but I don't know. I don't know. Boy, I might have to call Terry myself. Like,
I left me. I was like, wait a minute. God damn. Really?
Would you do that, Alberto?
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
Chase, you would do that. You would trade the pick for the Titans. Take Derrick Henry. I'm sure they'll give you a second or a third.
Where does the Titans sit?
Titans are 11th.
Falcon fans got about 5 more minutes here before we get about.
Still
get a win.
At 11.
What pick are they? 21st?
No, they're in the top 15. So I think they're like.
Yeah, there you go.
I think they're 11th or 13th, something like that. They're in between there.
Yeah, you can still hit on a couple positions there.
You could get your running back and your guard within that same breath.
Maybe even a cornerback with Devin Witherspoon at 12 or something. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Titans at 11.
11, okay.
Titans at 11. You know what's funny? When we did the mock the other night, Chase, Eagles wanted to trade up. When I did the one offline, both times they wanted to trade up, they selected Jackson Smith at 8 when they traded up.
That's what I'm saying, man. I really think both receivers are gone before the second round. I've seen them on a lot of mock drafts. Mock drafts is just a mock, but I've seen them both going before top 25. So they're definitely talented.
Once the first wide receiver goes, there's going to be a run on them, just like the year with Drake London. Yeah. Once Drake London went to us, boom, boom, boom. The next 3 or 4 picks were like receiver.
Yeah,
so. Which is the same thing NFL Network was mentioning about Scroncy coming to us because you get that first guard. It's about who gets the first position in that position group is going to start floating that line. And if a guard goes off the board at 8, you might have teams saying, "Oh shit, we got to move on Paris Johnson. We got to move on Campbell if he's moving up in the third or Steve Avila." Yeah, that's how it happens.
I don't buy this whole GM coming out saying, "Oh no, he's not available." Yeah, right. Yeah, right. If you're rebuilding in a sense, you're shedding salary money. You just signed Jeffrey Simmons to that large extension. Kevin Byard is another guy that they're going to be looking on. Moving on from. A move like Derrick Henry is not out of the possibility. It's very possible. Very, very possible.
Falcon fans, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We had a great time talking Falcons football with everybody here tonight. Alberto, I don't know. We'll probably see you after the draft. So this is a crazy moment here because he's on the podcast tonight. I'm sure. Are you guys going live next Thursday as well?
Yeah. Yep. Myself and Smitty will be on live around 7:50 or so, 7:45, 7:50. Talking everybody up to speed, moves that we've made, and wait for that 8 o'clock bell to ring, and man, just tune in and see what the hell we do, man.
Have you done the draft podcast already?
My first one, man.
Are you guys doing the weekend?
I'm sorry? Oh, no,
I don't.
You know what? We really haven't. We probably talked about day 1 and day 2. We haven't gotten to the Saturday one. There may be a possibility, but for me, man, this one hits close to heart, man, close to home, because it's my first one doing it live. You know what I mean? Live reaction, criticizing the picks, analyzing the picks. It's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait, man. Oh, truth be told, I took Friday off too. I was like, listen, I ain't coming in on Friday.
It's too much. It's a holiday for Falcon fans, man. This is exciting.
Hell yeah, man.
I told Bodie, don't make the wrong pick. You're gonna see Jack Spade has left the screen. I'm flipping his damn table. I'm going crazy. Reaction's gonna go crazy. I'm trying to go viral on the reaction.
What's gonna give you that reaction? Who do we take at 8 that would give you that reaction?
Jalen Carter. Okay. So I got different reactions, right? So I got one where it's like I'm finna go crazy in a bit. I got another one where if you select a player where it's like if it's like Miles Murphy or Breezes or Luke Van Ness, I'm like, and that's it.
Where I'm at.
That's it. You're gonna see new computer. I gotta get stream.
I said the same thing. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be at Best Buy Friday morning, probably getting another TV because something's going through that plug.
So when I come back to the podcast now, after I've tossed it, I come back and say, okay, guys, welcome Luke Van Ness to the Atlanta Falcons. Don't worry about my reaction that you just seen a couple of minutes ago. We're gonna move on from that. So you got it's negative to positive.
Yeah,
from negative to positive.
You're gonna force feed highlights of Lucas Van Ness.
Something. We're gonna.
It's not actually that bad. You're gonna sell yourself that. I'm gonna have a hard time doing that with whoever we pick.
I told Bodie we got to get like the waiting room music, like when you're on hold on the phone. Because if I flip this table and the broadcast shuts off, at least the music's still playing to let fans know we will be back soon. Technical difficulties
music throughout the whole thing, yo. Jeez, yo.
But we're excited, Falcon fans. I mean, the team is ready. I what more can I do now but just be a podcaster, be a fan, and be ready for the season? Because every fan in this chat, everyone that's watching. We're so ready to go win some games. We're so ready to take first place back over, to drop the division banner in our stadium and say we won the division, to host a home playoff game. We've never done that in the Benz. I mean, there's so much beautiful things happening with the Mercedes-Benz Stadium with United and all these other sports coming in there to play over there, and World Cups coming up soon. I'd love for soccer teams in 2026 to come over there and say, oh, look at the team that was in here won a championship. Look how big. Not the soccer team, but the football team. So I'd love for the Atlanta Falcons to just get things going. And Hawks.
How about them?
Hawks just won.
Yes, sir.
I told Larry that. The Dixon Way. Shout out to the Dixon Way if you're watching it any way, shape, or form.
And they won by 8.
He mentioned me on Uncle Steve's podcast. He did a show earlier. He says, Alberto, we're gonna lose tonight. Something to that effect. I was like, listen, I don't think so, man. I think you guys are gonna come into Boston and get the dub. It's not gonna end for y'all tonight. Just brace yourself.
I think Kenny left the chat already. He's in Boston. I think that's why. He's like, nah, I ain't finna be in. They Hawks fans too. I'm good.
Hawks win. Hey, that's cool, man.
Harold Poole, who just signed up to get some season tickets. And before I get up out of here, let's go over Harold Poole here. He's been a diehard Falcon fan for a long time. He's been in the chat here chatting with us for a long time. He always drops the F Matt Ryan bombs, but he just signed up to be a season ticket holder.
Shout out,
and I'm guessing the reason why he did it is not only for just the entertainment, being a diehard fan and going to go see the Falcons play, but this team is so ready for you to be in that building every Sunday or every other Sunday, whenever the schedule sets up, that we need more Harold Pools out here. So if you don't have season tickets, encourage somebody to go get some season tickets. You go get some season tickets. Falcons have good plans together for season ticket holders. You can make payments here, payments there. You don't got to drop everything at once. So all you diehard fan, there he goes right there, section 118, and he's in the hundreds.
Yes, sir.
So Falcon fans that's looking for season tickets, go out there and purchase some season tickets. Bring your family by. Man, Chase, you saw how cheap some of them tickets are last year. Chase, you were buying tickets on the fly.
Yeah.
So Falcon fans, you know what it is. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. 95 North Falcons talk shows in the building. Berto, I thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Man. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
Once again, your platform, sir, because there's some people who might jump in after it starts and they fast forward and they don't want to go back and they'll just go to the end. So please tell us again, where can we find you, sir? Your podcast, your platform. Y'all been doing great things out here. Please tell the fans what's going on.
Absolutely, man. So this is your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons talk show. Catch me on YouTube under that. On Twitter, I'm under RI Falcons, another platform that I use. I'm not really that active on it. I'll say some shit every once and again, chop it up with the folks and stuff like that. But mainly is under 95 North Falcons talk show on YouTube, and you can catch me every Tuesday with my boy Antoine Smitty Smith and the Sports Machine. We collaborate every Tuesday night. We weren't on last week, just It was slow. So, I'm sure that, with this week, the draft being on, we'll be back on Tuesday night bringing you some topic that we come up with. And that's at 8 o'clock. So when we merge with a 95 North Sports Machine. So that's what it's about, man. Shout out to Antoine Smitty-Smith and the Sports Machine, man. Shout out to you both, man. Bodie, Jack. Oh, excuse me, Chase, Bodie. Also, can't forget the homie, Jack Spade. Also, thank you, man, for allowing me to come on your platform. I truly appreciate it. It's nothing but great vibes and a good old time when I'm on here, man. I appreciate you guys so much for allowing me to come on, man.
Always, man. Always good to have you. And I sent you a text quickly and in a rush, like me and Chase were talking about it. Let's do a show. Hit you up. You quickly agreed. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come talk Falcons football with us and with the fans, whoever's listening, whoever's watching, wherever. And also when it comes to draft night, a little quick note. I mean, me and Bodie did a 12-hour broadcast last year. I'm going to let you know right now. Have some talking points in between them commercials and them picks, because you see 10 minutes on that clock, they will run it down to 1 minute on your ass. And you're going to be sitting there like, all right, pick us in. Here we go, everybody. All right. 10 minutes later. All right, pick us in. Same team. You're going to sit there like, bruh, it's been 12 minutes already. Like, call the pick.
Hell yeah, man.
Day 2 is where you're going to be mad as shit. Day 2 was the 4-hour stream for us because ESPN getting them commercials in because they got fans going to the podium, mascots going to the podium, business owners, just random people who show up on day 2. And I'm telling you, man,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Enjoy it.
Experience.
We're doing just a Thursday, and then we'll be back Monday for our 100th episode with our special guest. But enjoy it, brother. You guys have a great platform, what you're doing over there. Keep educating these Falcons fans. Die hard. And, of course, with that accent, we need you in New York because we're heading into some boroughs that we're going to need you.
I got you, man.
I want to wear my Hawks hat, and I want people to, what I mean? You know what's going on out there with Trey Young.
You with me, man. You good, man. You good on these streets, man. We're going to have a good old time, man. For real, man. Hey, man, up here in New England, we cool people and stuff like that, man. They all this, man. That's what it is, man. It's all good. It's all good.
Bunch of Mark Wahlbergs out there. I'm talking about.
You're gonna have to ask Kenny about that when he's in Boston. He's up that way.
Their accents, man. Like I mean, you guys are diehard in entertainment and sports, and I mean, it's just so much going on in that region of the world too, as well. Yeah. So I'm glad that the South can come take over that area. And you being a Falcons fan can help the South take over that area too over there.
I'm telling you, man,
we got a lot going on. I told
Bodie the last time I was on, man, I was like, listen, I have arguments on phone with people in New York. They talk so much shit. So much shit, bro.
I'm in the chat with a Jets fan and a Steelers fan and a Texans fan. So the Jets fan is like, oh, he's heavy right now.
I gotta look it up and I gotta send it to you. There's 2 different ones from 2 different years that I went. They just talk so much shit. And there's people that actually work at the stadium. And I got into it with one of the Giants players. And I was like, bro, you can't talk to me that fashion. You play special teams. What credibility do you have, bro? Get out of here. Because he came by our section and he's like, oh, you guys got the wrong jersey on. You got the wrong jersey on. I'm like, listen, man, I know exactly who you are. You play special teams. I'm not qualified to talk shit right now, bro.
Yo.
It's crazy.
It's a lot going on out here, Falcons
I can't wait, man. It's gonna be lit.
There he goes. Said Berto, yes, sir. We carpooling and taking over NY.
Let's do it, man. Hell yeah, man.
So I don't know if Falcon fans can see the chat. It's our esports chat, but in the chat, as you can see my GIF right there, I asked him when was the last time the Jets won the division. And I'm sitting there waiting for an answer. Then I asked him again, because he said, well, when was the last time the Falcons won a Super Bowl? So then I said, wait a minute, Jets? Was it 1960? What year did you guys win?
Oh, man.
So there's a heated debate going on here behind the scenes for those that don't know. But Alberto, man, I thank you for taking the time out your day to come over here and chat with us.
Of course,
and we will get you on once again, maybe close to training camp or something going on this year. We'll definitely have you and Smitty back on the podcast to come chop it up and talk Falcons football with us.
Of course, be honored to, man. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me on. You guys enjoy the rest of your nights, man.
Appreciate
people
you,
in the chat, man. Peace.
Shout out to Berto, man, for stopping by, talking Falcons football with us. Die hard Atlanta Falcons fans, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. This is the pop-up show tonight. We will be back on Sunday to talk more Falcons football with Bodie. Carrie's in the chat. Don't forget, Carrie will be with us here next week on draft night, talking Falcons football with us. She said, "Great show, Jack, Chase, and Berto. Enjoyed it. Can't wait for the draft. Less than 6 days, but who's counting? Everybody is counting. Don't know, Berto. You might be the only Northerner I like. I'm a Southerner girl all the way. Hey, let's just hope he's the same way, you know, during basketball season when the Hawks go out there and play the Knicks, you know, because we need support. Because I tell you right now, if I decide to go to that game, like, yo, Berto, I got tickets to the Hawks Knicks.
Yeah,
I need your help. I'm wearing Hawks colors.
definitely gonna need it for all.
If y'all haven't seen the videos of a New York crowd when the Hawks come into town, they don't like us. They don't like us, and I'm guessing you're gonna have to get security too as well. It's pretty big out there. Heading to the chat before we get about. Harapool said, "I'm wearing nothing but old school jerseys this season. William Andrews, Lynn, Kane Wallace, Francis, Alfred Jenkins, Alfred Jackson, Junior Miller. I have them in my closet ready to go. You got to get a jersey that says pool on the back. Right?
Yeah.
You got to get one that says pool on the back." Wallace Smith is in the chat. He said, "Great content, fellas." Thank you, Wallace Smith. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button. We up out of here. Chase, any shout outs before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight on this pop-up show. Shout out to Alberto for taking the time out of his day to come through and give us his knowledge on the team. Shout out to the Hawks, man. Maybe we get to stay back on the road, get everything rolling right, get back even 2-2. Hawks in 6, baby. Hawks in 6. Shout out to Jack, man. Shout out to Bodie. Did a damn good job on the flower bed. Shout out Boo Man, man. I don't know. I ain't heard from Boo Man in a minute. Boo Man's phone's out of service, but shout out Boo Man. Shout out Dez. Shout out to One Time for the Fan.
One Time for the Fan. We'll be back on Sunday at 8 p.m. talking Falcons football and Falcons football only. So all you diehards, tag your Falcons friend, tag your Falcons family. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, watch us YouTube, radio, Stitcher, podcast. I don't know, so many places you can catch us, but definitely do the best you can to find out more about One Time for the Fan. We have a lot going on this season. I really can't even explain what's going on. For those that seen us last year, know I'll be there most games, Chase, you know, on the sideline pregame before the Falcons. So I'll be bringing a lot of content, you know, of pictures, maybe talking to players, however. But I respect all the players when they're on the field and shit. I don't get into their head like that. I'm trying to let them do their thing. I go over there and chop it up with them, like, "What's up? How you doing? Have a good day." You know what I'm saying? I'll get some footage for you guys. You know what I'm saying? But Rise Up Tour, we have a lot going on with that. So many upcoming events with the Rise Up Tour. The schedule drops May the 11th. Next week, we have about 5 to 10 diehard Atlanta Falcons fans joining us for the draft. We're going to go over a lot next week, Thursday. So Falcons fans, get ready. Sunday, we'll be back at 8. And then May 1st, 8 o'clock. Monday, May 1st, 8 o'clock. We have a big special guest here on One Time for the Fan to talk Falcons football. We're going to talk Falcons draft report, all the moves that was made over the weekend from the Falcons. We're going to talk about it with our special guest on Monday, May 1st. So please tune in. Please come on back. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Leave any questions. We'll go ahead and respond to those too as well. Chase, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's always good talking Falcons football with everybody. And we will see y'all on Sunday at 8.
8 down.
Yeah. Rise up and go hard.